Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference kicked off yesterday, and the company rolled out Apple Intelligence, Apple's first attempt at AI. Along with OpenAI, Apple may integrate Google's Gemini AI into iOS. And how does Apple send your data to its cloud AI servers? Very carefully, it claims. It's Tuesday, June 11th, and this is an all-Apple edition of Engadget News. Apple is going all in on artificial intelligence in the most Apple way possible. At WWDC, Apple's annual conference for developers, the company revealed Apple Intelligence, an Apple-branded version of AI that is more focused on infusing its software with the technology and upgrading existing apps to make them more useful. Apple Intelligence will be powered both by Apple's homegrown tech as well as a partnership with OpenAI, the maker of ChatGPT. One of Apple's biggest AI upgrades is coming to Siri. The company's built-in voice assistant will now be powered by large language models, the tech that underlies all modern-day generative AI. Siri, which has languished over the years, may become more useful now that it can interact more closely with Apple's operating systems and apps. You can, for instance, ask Siri to give you a summary of a news article, delete an email, or edit a photo. The assistant will also be able to take more than 100 actions, such as finding photos based on a general description of their contents, or extracting personal information from a picture of your ID to automatically fill in forms online. And you will be able to type your question into Siri instead of using your voice. Apple Intelligence will highlight relevant content in Safari as you browse. Apple Intelligence will use AI to record, transcribe, and summarize your phone calls, rivaling third-party transcription services like Otter. Thanks to its partnership with OpenAI, Apple also is baking the base version of GPT-4o into Siri, as well as writing tools. Siri can act as an intermediary for user queries, and writing tools can use the large language model to help compose text. Apple Intelligence, which the company says will be in beta at launch, will be restricted to the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max and iPads and Macs with M1 or higher chipsets. Your device will also need to be set to U.S. English. Shortly after yesterday's keynote ended, Apple's Senior Vice President of Software Engineering, Craig Federighi, said that the company might also bake in Gemini, Google's family of large language models, into its operating systems, saying, "We want to enable users ultimately to choose the models they want, maybe Google Gemini in the future." The news is notable because even though Apple did mention plans to add more AI models into its operating system in the keynote, it did not mention Gemini specifically. Letting people choose the AI model they want on their devices instead of simply foisting one on them would give Apple devices a level of customization that none of its competitors like Google or Samsung have. For years, Apple has touted privacy as its major advantage over rivals like Google and Microsoft. Instead of relying on cloud processing to improve or organize your images, which requires sending your photos to Google's servers, Apple handles those tasks directly on your device. But with the advent of Apple Intelligence, the company's take on artificial intelligence, the company is stepping out of its comfort zone with private cloud compute. It says private right in the name, so it has to be secure, right? While Apple AI will run some models locally, it will occasionally have to send data to Apple's servers for complex requests. So, how is the company squaring this with its previous security stance? Well, according to Federighi, the company is being very careful about how it's sending your data to its servers. During the keynote, Federighi showed off how Apple AI could help him reschedule a meeting and determine if he could still attend his daughter's dance recital. Apple AI was able to determine who his daughter actually was, where her event was located, and the estimated travel time from his meeting. Federighi says Apple is not sending all of your data to the cloud. Instead, it's only uploading the most important bits of information relevant to your Apple AI query. Additionally, your server request is anonymous since it's using the same IP masking technology as iCloud Private Relay. Federighi also noted that Apple's cloud servers have no permanent storage and don't have the ability to keep logs. To make things even more secure, Federighi says private cloud compute servers are running software with published images for security researchers to audit. Apple Intelligence devices can only talk with servers running those approved images. If there are any changes to the servers, the local devices will also need to be updated to see them. That process may be a bit restrictive, but that's precisely the point. Federighi calls it a step up in the level of trust you can have with server computing. To catch up on all of the news from Apple's WWDC event this week, check out Engadget.com. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and additional articles at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism by senior editors Pranav Dixit and Devendra Hardawar, and was voiced and produced by Spoken Layer. Enjoy your day, and I'll return tomorrow with more tech news from Engadget.